All right then. Good morning. Hope the day finds everybody doing well. I'm doing well. I think I'm doing well anyway. If I'm not, I don't know it. Oh yeah. It's a great day to be alive. On top of the ground. And the ground's not on top of you. That's a pretty good day to start. Good morning. We call this show Precision. Because everything we do requires us to make one. And even when you don't make one, well, you just made one. Good morning to all my friends in the armed forces of these United States of America, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard, and Space Force. Of course, if it weren't for you and us, then the freedoms that we take for granted, well, they wouldn't be there, would they? I don't believe so. Good morning, and good morning again. It's time to rise and shine. It's another day, one more above the ground, and the ground not above you. But before you do anything, before any word come out of your mouth, say thank you, Lord, for this day. Next up, it is our daily bread, because that's the way we roll around here. You know, we do our daily bread because I don't know about everybody else. I can't talk for anybody else but myself. But there have been times in my life that the only thing I've had is a belief that God Almighty hears me. I still believe that to this day. I think that's pretty good count. So, next up is our daily bread. And then we'll be back. The mayor of the city of Montgomery is going to join us at around 8 o'clock, somewhere there about. I won't be so tough. He's going to think I'm from Mobile. Anyway, we'll be back. Uno momento. Okay. So hang loose. It's going to be all right. Because I'm here. With the help of the good Lord. See your grace, every moment filled with your warm embrace.
God is right beside you. Just talk to Him. Welcome to today's encouragement from Our Daily Bread. Today's reading, titled Right Beside You, was written by Sheridan Voisey. Each day at a post office in Jerusalem, workers sort through piles of undeliverable letters in an attempt to guide each to its recipient. Many end up in a specially marked box labeled Letters to God. About 1,000 such letters reach Jerusalem each year, addressed simply to God or Jesus. Puzzled by what to do with them, one worker began taking the letters to Jerusalem's western wall, to have them placed between its stone blocks with other written prayers. Most of the letters ask for a job, a spouse, or good health. Some request forgiveness. Others just offer thanks. One man asked God if his deceased wife could appear in his dreams because he longed to see her again. Each sender believed God would listen, if only he could be reached. In the book of Deuteronomy, the Israelites learned much as they journeyed through the wilderness. One lesson was that their God wasn't like the other gods known at the time, distant, deaf, geographically bound, reached only by lengthy pilgrimage or international mail. No, the Lord our God is near us whenever we pray to Him. What other people could claim that? This was revolutionary news. God doesn't live in Jerusalem. He's close by us, wherever we are. Some still need to discover this radical truth. If only each of those letters could be sent the reply, God is right beside you. Just talk to Him. Today's Our Daily Bread devotional scripture reading is from Deuteronomy chapter 4, verses 5 through 8. See, I have taught you decrees and laws as the Lord my God commanded me. so that you may follow them in the land you are entering to take possession of it. Observe them carefully, for this will show your wisdom and understanding to the nations, who will hear about all these decrees and say, 'Surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people.' What other nation is so great as to have their gods near them the way the Lord our God is near us whenever we pray to him? And what other nation is so great as to have such righteous decrees and laws as this body of laws I am setting before you today?" Let's pray. Dear God, thank you for the privilege of coming to you when we are facing struggles and are in need of help. Sometimes we can get so caught up in whatever life seems to be throwing at us that we don't even consider talking to you. When we do this, please remind us that you are there and that you want to help us. Thank you for the promise that you are always faithful to answer and that you will see us through. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Today's encouragement was provided by Our Daily Bread Ministries.
Good. Let me finish up a couple of things right here. I gotta make sure I put this in the right place here. Okay, pin that right there. And the guest at 8:00 will be, at least he's scheduled to be here, Mayor Stephen Reed, and I'm gonna be tough on him. I'm like I always am. I'm gonna be tough. I'm gonna be tough. I need to know. There's some things I need to know. Things I need to know, like what he had for breakfast this morning. I need to know that, and we get enough fiber, in its genes, or not in its body, whatever the case may be. That didn't come out too good. So anyway, so when the mayor comes, just y'all just hold up. I'm gonna be tough on him, but I want him. I always wanted to keep him to come back. See, me and Montiel had this thing. Montiel had this thing where he was just gonna be dog everybody, and well, you can't get nobody to come on if you're gonna dog them all. I mean, and just kind of think about it. Sooner or later, somebody else is gonna have a mic. Like I got a guy. Okay, I got a guy that's that's running that wants to ask me dumb questions about my run for the city council. And listen, I don't mind questions. I really don't. I don't care how dumb the question really is. I really don't. Or how intelligent the question is. But here's what I do mind. Don't insult me with your question. Okay. Don't insult me. I mean, I get this one guy named Marlo. Okay. If you go to my Facebook page, you'll see it. He said, he says that I'm just not. He asked me that. He said, "Do you know what the job of a city council person is?" Now, okay, listen. If there's anybody in this town that knows what the job of a city councilman is, it's me. After 35 years of talking to all of them, mayors from all over the state, talking to city councilmen from other cities. Tuscaloosa, Mobile, Huntsville. I mean, I get to talk to them all. I talk in my tenure in the media, and so to ask me, do I know what a city councilman does? What his job is? Okay, well, what the main job? Well, I'm not even gonna go through that. See, because people don't really know what the main job is. As a matter of fact, I know some things that the city council can do that they don't know. Okay. But again, don't insult me. Don't ask me dumb questions. Okay. Any other question I can handle, but just nothing that insults my intelligence. Okay. But other than that, I'm good. Yeah. We good. Just don't ask me dumb stuff. It is serious times, and I just don't need to sit here and answer dumb questions. Time is too valuable. Don. 375. 375. Well, I said it's 375 million. Where do you get this rap center thing from? Well, what thing? Well, I don't know, but there are people from all over the country that want to go places and have their civic. Well, I don't know. Well, well, we're gonna ask. We'll ask them that. Who? Oh, Essence. Well, what's wrong? Yeah, right. But what's wrong with? But if Essence wanted to come to my, but well, I think. Yeah, yeah. Well, he'll be here, and you can call and ask them. And I think that the folks should have access information. But I mean, listen, there's nothing wrong with Montgomery having a civic center of sorts. But I know I'm not on board at the moment for an additional $375 million bond issue, and where we owe people more money. I think there's got to be a better way. I don't know what that way is because I'm not up there. I don't know what the resources are. I don't know how many friends you got with money. I mean, Trump had the room in the White House built by well, no. He said he was going to have it built by private donations, but it seems to me that I think the government's putting a little bit of money in there now. And so I don't know. I think right now when we are at a precipice in Montgomery, Alabama right now that we can go either way. We got to get crime under control, which just have to. How that happens it comes from the addresses on everybody's house in the street in the state of in the city of Montgomery. You think this is the Don show? I mean, oh wait a minute, hold it. Wait, hold it. Let me. You're right. You're right. Hold it. Let me make sure that I get this thing. So you messed around and got my mind all messed up here. Okay, so put that right there. Your mind was screwed up. Put that one there. That one there. Okay, now I think people can hear you. Okay, now go ahead and ask the question again.
All was to get him, and when the little mayor comes on, to break down the 375 million to where it's going and what it's going to do. How much is he intending to put into the Stephen Reed Rap Center?
Okay.
Like he said, why you call it Rap Center? Because I don't know what else he's going to put down there and present.
Well,
maybe he can tell us what he's planning on doing with it, even though we got Impact and all the other stuff. Oh, by the way, I think I got a job for you.
Yeah, but Impact is Impact is a
job for you.
Yeah, what's my job? What you got?
If you look on the unemployment thing for the Whitewater,
yeah,
every damn person they're hiring for, because nobody wants a short-time job. So they're looking for a IT guy. Maybe you could fit that slot. But just check out how many people no jobs at Whitewater that is empty. Maybe you can get the IT guy. It will only be short time, but you can get that one.
Yeah. Well, I'll look into that one. I think. Anyway, welcome in everybody. I'm Kevin Elkins, also candidate for the Montgomery City Council District number 3. So just stay tuned, and you can hear. I'm waiting to get invited to places so I can kind of like put out there my. I see. Other people are doing their thing, but I'm kind of waiting for the big push to after we decide who's all running. Last time I checked, we had 13. So we got we gonna have to see who, because the getting into the race doesn't stop. You can put your name on the ballot until the 14th. So we won't know until the 15th of the month who is in it and who is not. So no sense in getting all excited now. I need to know. I need to know who my opponents are. Before I bring up the big guns, I need to know who my opponents are. So right now I'm being quiet because we got a what this is July, August, September. What you got to do this and next. The rest of this month and next month. Other than that, it's over. Let me see here now. Good morning.
Yeah.
Yes.
Man, you got your work cut out for you.
That you do. Yeah. But if it was easy, anybody could do it.
Yeah, because you got some heavy hitters to run up against. Y'all might well probably end up having a wrestling match. It made the best man win.
Yeah, it's gonna be heavy, but I'm pretty heavy hitter myself. So we'll work it out. One with the other. Yeah, but you know what though? Listen, if anybody could do it, everybody will be doing it. So that's it. And I commend the people, all the folks that getting in. At least that shows there's an interest. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That shows there's an interest. So now the question is, why the interest?
Just saying what you're interested in.
Well, I don't know what.
And what separates you from all the other people?
I don't belong to the Democratic Party.
Bye.
Okay, I know I'm not a Democrat. That pretty much separates me right there. I ain't mad at them, but I don't believe in following the dictates of a party. I just don't, Republican or Democrat. And let me. Rod Steiger used to have a thing that says for your consideration. For your consideration, let me just put this out here. There are two parties, and there are two dominant parties, political parties in America. And one of those parties is Democrat, and the other party is Republican. So we got one group of people, which is people look like me, that a 98 percentile belong to one party. I mean, we're the only group of people in America where 98% of us that vote one way. Hey, that's your thing. That's fine. And their biggest opposition to the other party is that they racist. Yeah, they white racist. So let me get this. So, and one day I'm going down the street listening to Luther Vandross, and Barry Manilow, put those two together there, and you'll have a smooth ride because they're all nice and mellow songs. So I don't get upset. So it makes me think about things. So I'm sitting there going down the road thinking about my strategy, right? My strategy of winning this race. But I got to thinking, what is the impediment? What are the impediments to winning? And I figured it out. I figured one of them. There's going to be many impediments. Besides, people just don't like you. But there are many. But the biggest impediment is the political philosophy of people who believe certain things. Now that's an impediment because no matter what you do, no matter what you say, somebody's going to find something absolutely negative to say about it. So I'm used to it. People have been talking about me negatively for 34 years. So please, if that's a strategy, I don't even worry about it. I'm so used to it that, as a matter of fact, some insults to me are like compliments. So don't even talking about me won't get me to quit. Yeah. Good morning, Simply Days.
Morning, Mayor. Morning. You got to be careful. You know what they did to one city council member that even walked past a Republican.
Well, the nice thing about city races is that there is no Republican and there is no Democrat running for office.
Yeah, but that's what we hear and that's what we're told. But just like the city councilman that your friend,
Mr. Green.
Mr. Green, he got labeled. He got quickly labeled, and that's what they will do to you to get you out of the race.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They'll do that. Yeah, and that's fine. But unfortunately, I have never changed my stripes either way. So I've been who I am. I don't belong to the Republicans, and I don't belong to the Democrats. I belong to my two friends called Logic and Reason.
Well, the Logic and Reason say that you definitely know where you live.
I know where I live, and some of these people think they got it all tied up already. It's all done and over. I mean, I see people. I'm not calling anybody's name, but I see people walk around here having these little meetings and people, trying to strategize against me. That's cool, yeah. Because first of all, if it was easy, nobody would want to do it. I mean, everybody.
No, you got to.
Yeah. So you got to fight for it.
Yeah. If you get into politics, it's a dirty, rotten business, and you got to have your big boy pants on, and that skillet's gonna get hot. They'll try to say you like they did with the guy that ran for mayor. Remember they went back and said he was messing around on one of the Tinder or one of these sites or something. That's what they'll do to you. But check this out. I was listening to a podcast last night, and the girl that was moderating it, her name is Stephanie Cutter, and she was one of the chief strategists in President Obama's campaign, and then she worked for Michelle and did some stuff. But anyway, she was saying that there is a civil war coming in the political party world of the Democrats. And this is what you were talking about earlier, how you identify.
Mm-hmm.
She says that the conservative party of the Democrats, the moderates of the Democrats are going to get pushed out because of the socialist Democrat, the new socialist Democrats like the New York mayor and other. But she said that they need to have a separate party, a socialist party, because it's going to hurt the Democratic Party.
Surely will. And that they don't need to be sending money from the National Democratic Party to these blue absolutely
socialists, because she said all they're doing is hurting the Democratic Party. But she said there's a civil war coming, and that people are going to have to choose sides, and whether you are a moderate, whether you are a conservative, whether what you used to be known as a liberal, but now there's this socialist movement, and they're going to have to be dealt with, and they're going to have to get some people that people want to vote for, other than the socialists.
Right. Well, and if most of these people actually knew what a socialist was, if they've ever been to a socialist country, they will look at the mirror and say, slap themselves. This is what I've been talking about, because they don't know. They don't have a clue of what they're
and that's why it's going to take people like you and other people that have a voice to explain to the people what socialism is about, and why, if we go down that road, we're going to end up like these other countries. It has never been, successful. But
yeah. But
hey, change of gears. Did you see where the state trooper in Pennsylvania got killed on July 1st?
I heard about it. Yeah, I haven't gone into it.
Yeah, the somewhat illegal immigrant driving a 18-wheeler ran over him. And there's no protest. There's no protest for him, man.
Yeah. I heard the one about the 4 people who sat on the side of the road because their car broke down, and here comes somebody drinking and driving, kills all 4 of them sitting on the side of the road. This alcohol thing. I mean, I ain't got anything against drinking, but man, oh man, the damage you can do.
Well, that's the thing about, talking about marijuana. I mean, there's more people killed with alcohol
than marijuana. That's true.
Exactly. And the government supports it. They endorse it. They buy liquor stores to put in your neighborhood so you can buy more of it. Y'all have a good day.
Yeah. Hey, appreciate it. And here's one. Here's a story. Here's a story out of Daphne, Alabama. Is this the beginning of something in America that we have spurned upon ourselves because we have not disciplined our kids? We don't, and if you bring up the word discipline, the first thing people want to say, well, that's racist. The other one says, well, you ain't gonna hit my kids. Okay. Let me tell you what happens in a society where you do not discipline your children early, not when they're 16 years old, not when they're 15, 14, way younger. Here's a story out of Daphne, Alabama. A 17-year-old boy is charged with murder and attempted murder after he allegedly, it ain't no alleged to it, stabbed both of his parents, killing his mother and critically injuring his father. And according to authorities, the teen and his parents, Samantha Baker, 37, and Lance Baker, 46, got into an argument over disciplinary actions before the fatal stabbing. According to the Baldwin County Sheriff's Office, deputies said that the teen stabbed both of his parents inside and outside the home, extending the crime scene across the block and into several neighboring yards. The teen locked himself into home and called 911 after the attack. He was arrested at the scene. You have to be absolutely demonistic to do such a thing. Sheriff says it's really sad. It's very sad for the family having to deal with it. For everything we can see at this point, this was an isolated domestic incident and really just got out of control. I'd say that when you kill your parent, when you stab both your parents. That's why when my son after the Menendez thing happened years ago, I showed my son a 9mm. I said, now, if you ever want to do the Menendez thing on me, this one. Okay. So our kids are going crazy too. Good morning.
Morning, Sergeant Elkins. Councilman Elkins.
Good morning, First Sergeant.
Question.
Yes.
Did you see in the national news ICE killed another one yesterday in Houston?
I did see. As a matter of fact, I read where they said that they're going to start reporting it.
They're going to stop reporting it.
Yeah. Yeah, I got a problem with that one. I mean,
Did you hear the background on the person that was killed? How long he's been in the U.S.?
no, I didn't.
Over 3 decades, over 30 years.
Yeah,
He worked a construction job. He put 4 of his sons that were born in the U.S. through college. He was going to work in a white construction in a van, and the national news is reporting that ICE is targeting vans. So now it's disrupting the workforce in Houston because people are afraid to go to work. The administration said we're going to get the people off the street that are the worst of the worst, the murderers, the rapists. Those are the people that we think should be taken out of the country. But people that have been here for over 30 years, raised their sons and daughters, put them through college, and just going to work trying to make a living.
And have paid taxes for the upkeep of this nation. I just don't like the way they're doing this. I just, I don't.
So, Kevin, not only do you not like the way it's doing, it's disrupting the workforce. It's disrupting the economy. If you are an employer and you're counting on your crew to come to work, and now they all are fearful that they may be taken in a van, taken into custody, and put in one of these holding facilities, people are not going to work.
Yeah, that reminds me of what the Nazis did, going around picking up people because they were certain religions or certain. I got to tell you, this is not American. I know people shouldn't come here illegally, but we do. We buy drugs. We buy drugs illegally. We go alcohol illegally. We do all kinds of things illegally, but we're not putting anybody who buy alcohol illegally in the back of a van and put them in jail. And
so just looking at his family yesterday in the news conference, sitting up there, their dad laying on the ground in blood, man. That's just not the country, right? And that's not what the citizens voted for.
Right. That's not who we are.
We want the border to be controlled. And I think they've done a good job in that. But going around as a Gestapo type tactic where people are just trying to make a decent living for their family, Kevin, it's just not what this country should be behind.
That's a bad look for America. And morally, how can we criticize any other government for the way they treat their citizens if we treat ours? Well, of course, if we treat our potential citizens that way. I
travel a lot, Kevin.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, I know you
stay in a lot of hotels.
I wonder how you get to travel like that all the time too. But
I have an excellent team. But Kevin,
who's
making up the beds in these hotels? Who do you think are coming in and doing that lawn care service in these establishments?
Yeah, all you gotta do is go down the street, see who's putting on the rules and all this. And I don't even think we're gonna say they taking anybody's job. We got a lot of Americans who become so affluent that they don't want to do the jobs, cutting grass and getting on top of the roof in the hot sun. Depends on how hungry you get up there.
And the last thing I want to say before I go is, when someone says the Mayor Stephen Reed Rap Center, that has certain connotations to it.
Yeah.
Kevin, if you go and look at the people that are coming to the Impact, the artists, would you think that they're more rap people or other type of? This city needs.
Yeah, no, the great people. The Sticks has been there. So who was there? A lot of
Kevin.
People.
It's predominantly a diverse diverse artists. But when you come on and say the Rap Center, you're giving a certain connotation of what this venue is going to have.
Yeah,
and that's not this city.
No,
that's not this city, and I think that's intentional. On what we're trying to say, it's if you're a capital city and we want to be a destination site, and when people come here, you have to go to Birmingham, Huntsville, or Mobile or Atlanta to see a good artist, because people are not going to come to the Impact that only seats 16, 17, 1,800.
Right. I thought, that's right, because now the Coliseum seats 18,000, but I don't know.
But they don't have air conditioning.
No problem.
So somebody's going to sit in there and sweat there. But if you want to get good entertainment to a community,
and have good venues.
you need a good venue, Kevin.
Yeah, you gotta have good.
And so, but it's not a rap center.
But what I want to know, why can't we use something here already and convert it into that rather than go in debt more?
What do you have? What do you have of size that you can convert?
Well, I'll let the people for the economic developers figure out that.
Well, I mean, they got a place. The old advertiser, they're going to convert it.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that's what they have. That's what they purchased. But again, if you want to stay small, if you don't want to get outside of Montgomery, and you want to let those people around you grow, you will end up being a small town. And I think you have to spend money. Look what Wetumpka did with the outdoor venue they have with those softball fields and the type of money they're going to attract to that community. I mean, Millbrook, I said Wetumpka, Millbrook. If you go up there and you look at that, have you seen that venue?
Yes, I have. Yes, I have. Yeah,
they're going to attract.
Yeah, they are. They are. I mean, we had to. I don't know if we did it already, but when I was on the board, the Parks and Rec. Yeah, we were talking about doing something out there. What is the name of that park out there?
Fane Park.
Yeah. Oh, Northern Road, whatever that called, the golf course out there, the tennis
Lagoon Park.
Yeah, Lagoon. Yeah. I don't know if we've made any improvements to that park or not, but that's.
I don't even think they have lights up, Kevin. I mean, they're trying to work on getting lights up where you can have stuff at night. I mean, I just think that if you want to keep small and stay a sleepy town, you just keep doing things like you have. And when you have these young people that are young professionals that want quality of life, they want to be able to do something after they work 10 hours a day with their kids. If you don't have anything for them to do, they will continue to leave this city. Thank you, sir, for taking the call.
Yes, sir, and I agree. And the whole thing with picking people up. And again, I've said from the beginning, I understand that when people come here illegally out of desperation or whatever they do, unless we find them doing something illegal or doing something, we need to cease and desist the way we're doing this. And if the president hasn't figured that one out by yet, he ain't smart as I thought he was. It's not a good look. I just don't like it at all. And yeah, I voted for him twice, but I didn't vote for taking Vance around like the Nazis did and yank people off their job and put them in jail. And the other day, of course, somebody getting killed. And it's not the first death involving them people. I just don't. Whew. But hey, that's 76 million people, me being one of them, voted for the president, but not for this. Like when Obama came in. I mean, I wasn't really angry at Obama, to tell you the truth, but that gay thing, and I'm sick. I'm tired of hearing about it. Don, it ain't the Don show now.
I just got to respond to Willie.
Well, he was just responding to you.
Willie left out the part where the van was used to be picking up illegals and taking them to construction strike.
Taking them from construction.
Rammed ICE vehicle and then pointed his vehicle at the ICE agent and tried to run him over. Willie left that part out. Maybe Willie could tell us how many illegals he wants to come into the country. Can you call and give us a number, Willie? We're probably about 20 million right now. Is 50 billion enough? 60 billion? And when you reach that limit, how are you going to get them out of the country?
Wait a minute. Again,
let's go to the.
If you find them doing something, if you find them doing something,
go to the rap center.
Okay, but if you find these people doing something wrong, illegal, I'm with you. Get them off the street fast as possible. But if all I'm doing for 30 years, and I got a record of it, is going to work every day, sending my kids to school, living the American dream. I made a hitchhiker ride over here, but I have been a productive, great citizen. Yeah, I got a problem with that. I don't care what they say. Okay, I got a problem with that. I just we do, and it seems like. And it does seem like, because of the history of all presidents, not just this one, but from Reagan on past Reagan. I mean, everybody, Carter, Reagan, they've all allowed the borders pretty much to let people in and like water. Okay, they've done that, and so it's not something that happened under one presidential term. Okay, it has happened. I would imagine it happened a little bit under Trump's first term. You know, it happened under Reagan, and then we got the wet land, dry land thing with Cuba. If you get here, you get to be here. Okay, so you get to be here. So I don't know. Listen, I'm not that smart to kind of devise a plan. The only thing I say we need to do is just cut off all, not some, all immigration to America for 18 months. Just cut it all off. Just lock the borders, lock the door, say the bathtub is full. And we got to figure some things out. We got to see what belongs here, what don't belong here, but the bathtub is full. Cut out legal immigration temporarily. That's the only thing I can think of that you can do. Because if you let one in, then why not let everybody in? You know, and I think that I believe I think that comes up, the management of that comes under the executive branch of our government. I say cut it off for 18 months. You know, just guard the borders and don't let anybody in. You know, unless there's except for special cases like medical procedures. I can understand that because we got some of the greatest surgeons, some of the greatest people in the world working in America. You know. I say just cut it all off right now, every last bit of it for 18 months, and then start up again. Start up after in the next year or something like that. I mean because that's the only solution to this. It's the only solution. That way, nobody gets in, and you don't have to let people in your country if you don't want to. Okay, so you can. But you don't have to. There's nothing in the Constitution say we have to let people in. Okay? And listen, I'm with nothing wrong with America for Americans. But here's the problem about America. America is a nation built by people from other nations. You know? So it hypothetically, everybody is an American of some sort. Okay? Because nobody's here. Black people are the only people here that didn't do it voluntarily. Everybody else came voluntarily. So America is built by people from all other countries. And we understand that. But the bathtub is full. You know, it's full. And it's not full because of land. Okay. There are some people who believe things. Okay. There's some things that some of these people believe that's inconsistent with the Constitution of the United States, and I would have to say that people from the Mideast have traditions and things and procedures that are totally inconsistent with the Constitution of the United States and with our basic fundamental belief system. And most of us in this country are Christians. Protestants and Catholics, but and what they believe is not consistent with what we believe. Oh, where's the phone? Oh, yeah, I forgot to put the phone number back up there. So, you know, we can't say it now because it's politically incorrect to say it. But most of these people from that practice a certain form of Islam, it's not consistent with the United States, with the Constitution. So why do we let people in who don't believe fundamentally what we believe from a religious standpoint? Of course, all they say, now here's what they're going to say. Well, yeah, well, what part of your religion says kill your babies? I feel you on that one. You know, I feel you on that one. Yeah. And that's why I'm glad we got rid of wholesale. We ain't got rid of it all, but wholesale abortion, because we were not in a position to tell people about how bad the things they believe were if we believe that it's okay to kill a child. So we got, again, I've always said, like I said on Hagler Show the other day, listen, we are a great nation, but we are no means, by no stretch of the imagination, a perfect one. We never will be a perfect nation. But again, I'm like so many other people, so many soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines who've had the opportunity to serve this nation and go to other nations and see what it was all about. You know, I was in Madrid, Spain one time. I'll get that to you story in a second. What's up there, Mr. B?
Hey, Kevin, how's it going?
Pretty good.
Hey, look here, man. I just wanted to say, you know, I hear you talking about, you know, immigration and everything. But as you said, you know, we are a nation of immigrants, and we soon seem like we just conveniently forget that, you know. But I have an issue with, you know, what the Trump administration is doing, because several years ago, you know, he asked during his last administration, why can't we get more people from Norway? You know, so his problem is not necessarily immigration; it's who's migrating here, because it speaks volumes when you deliberately and intentionally, you know, allow migrations of white South Africans to this country, but then on the other hand, you're going to deport Black Haitians, and he allowed white South Africans into this country under the false pretenses of white genocide in South Africa. And the white this African, you know, South African president said that wasn't happening at all. But, you know, I'm thinking that it's a deal between Elon Musk, who's South African from South Africa, and Trump to actually migrate these individuals. And it's done under the radar now. They just migrated another 10,000 into this country.
Right.
And, you know, you got Elon Musk literally paying Texans to procreate, because they're saying that there's not enough you know, white Americans. Mm-hmm. So they're paying Texans over there to have children. Mm-hmm. And also that's what it's all about, Kevin. It's not necessarily about the fact of being against, you know, people immigrating into this country.
And I would have to, I'm only going to disagree with you just a little bit here.
Okay.
I don't think the president wants just white people coming to America, but I do believe what he wants are people who can add to the texture and to the prosperity and to our posterity of this country. If you open the door, and wait a minute, if you open the door for everybody who have absolutely nothing, we got enough people in America already who are absolutely nothing.
Kevin, you know what? You know the skill set of most of those South Africans, white South Africans that are coming over. They're farmers, and you have your brown. They're farmers, they're agriculture. That's what they're migrating over here. These are not professional tech people. Yes, that's what they're migrating over here. If they wanted high tech people, many a times in the future, they would, you know, migrate them or allow them to come in from India and certain parts of Southeast Asia.
Yeah, that's true.
But, you know, these folks that are coming over here, Kevin, they're not professionals. They don't have an education per se. Most of them are agriculturalists.
Right, but I think that's that's what the problem is. He wants people who can come here immediately and be productive,
Kevin,
and add to the economy.
The city and state of Ohio, starting with the governor, have said that these Haitians are coming, they're working, and if you start deporting them, it's going to hurt their economy. They're not lurching or leeching off of the economy. Mm-hmm. It's because of what they look like. And when you go and you try to when you accuse them of eating dogs and cats, Kevin, come on now.
Wait a minute. Is that false? Now, I know a few things. Is that false?
Kevin, it's more that you don't see them deporting Koreans, and you know what when you and I were stationed in Korea, you know what they were eating. You know, so come on now. So it's not necessarily about that. It's about the browning of America, and it's changing. And studies have shown, and it's not all on Trump. It's the people that are advising them, because they see those numbers, they see those stats, and they know that America's going to become much browner and darker in the next few years.
Let me ask you a question. America has a certain identity in the world, in the universe. We got a certain identity. Other countries, Germany, Belgium, France, Mexico, Canada, they all have their personalities that surround their people. Shouldn't the United States be able to do the same?
Kevin, Canada is a very diverse country, as well as the UK. They're very diverse.
We got a lot of draft dodgers still living up there.
Well, you got Europeans, blacks. You got just like America. The unique thing about America is that we reflect the world. Mm-hmm. That's the beautiful thing about it. But you have certain people that feel as though they have a stronghold on America. They think they're super Americans because of the way they look or what have you. But the beautiful thing, and Ronald Reagan said this himself. He said, "This is the only." He said, "This is the only place you can come and become an American, regardless of where you come from." I'm surmising it,
That's true.
and I'm surmising what he said. And that's what makes us great, Kevin.
But America has a certain culture, and that culture is underpinned by the Constitution of the United States. So if you believe in things that are inconsistent with the Constitution,
but why
should we let you in?
What is the certain kind of culture we have here in America?
Well,
Kevin?
first of all, we have a culture that we believe that there's a God in heaven and God is in charge of most all things.
And so does every other country, Kevin. They just call them a different name.
Oh,
the only difference is, Kevin, is who they feel as though is a prophet and who they feel as though is the Messiah. That's the only difference.
We don't believe, we don't believe, that you have a right to kill people because they happen to be gay. We don't believe in honor killings.
Right, but Kevin, we got folks going around doing those type killings as quiet as it kept.
Yeah,
we got people blowing.
Right, we ain't condoning it, though.
But Kevin, you don't find any other country going around blowing up schools with children in it. I mean, going to mass shootings and mass killing. Name one school, in another country that goes around randomly. Okay,
I know. We got the Second Amendment, though. We allow people in this country, wrongfully or rightfully, whatever. We allow people in this country, even idiots, to walk around with guns.
Right, and not only that, but they're going around killing children in various schools, and we're not doing anything about it.
But
so all of us,
and we could do something about it. It's too late to do something about it when it's been done. We could do it, but we can do a hell of a better job than what we're doing.
We can. So we're not a perfect country, and I admit that. But the beautiful thing about this country, Kevin, is that it's the melting pot of the world.
Right.
And we stand. We're that beacon on the hill, that beacon of light on the hill that Ronald Reagan talked about.
But it is still a pot. And pots can only handle so much.
Kevin,
liquid.
If you put it this way, if the only people that you have in this country is European America, and you just say you go back and you take away all the inventions, all the accomplishments, or what have you, this country would not be what it is without a diverse culture or group of people in the country.
Somebody would have came up with the stuff.
No, Kevin, we did. And see, that's one of the other things, too. If you fail to acknowledge history is doomed to repeat it, we came up with a lot of inventions that we didn't get credit for. And they want you to forget that. That's the reason why they're doing away with books of Black history and the contributions of your Indians that was here and your Latinos and all. They traffic it. Chinese people to come over here and build a railroad. They brought us over here to work the land, Kevin. And I want to say this, and I'm going to get off the phone. Megyn Kelly, and I don't know if you saw this reel that she had. She's telling the Haitians to go back, leave this country, go back. You're not wanted here. We built this country. I found it rich, and I'm thinking, who is we that built this country? You see, who you're talking about? European Americans or people that look like you built this country? No, it was built on the back of slaves, freed slaves, Kevin.
But I will tell you, which country has not had slaves?
Kevin, what?
Which country has not had slaves? It's always been around.
Kevin, does it make it right? Well, which country which country does not have rape? Which country does not have murder?
Exactly.
Kevin. So where I'm getting at, Kevin, you can't go and you pick. It's not like a box of cherries where you can go and pick certain things or what have you.
On immigration, we do have that right to pick certain cherries.
Kevin, what I am saying is sometimes, we can be a little arrogant as Americans.
No, we can't.
And I put it this way, so arrogant that we're in this doggone quagmire in Iran. We thought that Iran was going to be a pushover like Venezuela. And that's what got us into this fix. And also another thing, you got a lot of unqualified folks running this country. And then Kevin, I can't see how we can be so passive about them firing a lot of these Black female and male generals. It's happening right in front of our eyes, Kevin.
Wait a minute. They're firing white generals too. Donahue was just fired.
Yes, Kevin, but it's more.
How long do you get to stay in the military? How long should you?
Kevin,
we need new blood.
Kevin, it's more black generals that are being dismissed and not being overlooked with promotions and everything else, Kevin.
You got to prove that to me, because they're firing white generals too, and colonels.
Kevin,
they're firing them too.
Kevin, at West Point, they took out of the curriculum when they, in the curriculum of studies, military science. The part of their studies was studying the Tuskegee Airmen. Okay. They took that out of the curriculum and said, we're not going to.
Now, do you know
Chappie James?
And that they told a lie about Chappie James. Do you know for
Kevin,
sure they took that out of the curriculum?
Kevin, they took it out of the curriculum. And then look here. Then you got your Smith.
Okay, I'm going to call West
Kevin.
Point and see.
Kevin, then you got Smithsonian. Trump is upset because he's saying that there's too much, in so many words, too much that's reminding us of America's history or what's bad, and he wants everything that is good. But that's part of the American history, and that's what made us great, to actually get from that and to move from. Okay. He wants to whitewash and erase everything.
But often the things they say about that man is absolutely a lie. Okay,
Kevin.
They say about it. But let me ask you a question. So you're telling me that in West Point, they are being told not to study Chappie James, and
they're taking a lot of that out of the curriculum. Okay, West Point and Cardale.
Okay, I'm gonna check it out.
Yes.
Let me go. But I gotta go, because I do expect a guest here any moment now, whenever he decides to come in and to the mayor. Okay, so let me get this. Let me write this down now. So West Point is not. See, because I can't. Let me get my thing here. I can't believe that West Point, is not studying. Okay. No, Chappie James, the first 4-star general of the United States military, and you telling me that they're not studying that? Really? Okay, but I'm okay. Chappie James. Okay, let me write that down, because I'm gonna call him and I'm gonna see it. Somebody give me the number to West Point. Put it in my thing here. I call it. They're in New York someplace. Okay, I'm gonna call them and see. My son actually got called. Got a call from West Point. Zarrell said he didn't want to go to the basic training for 4 years. I don't know how Don keeps getting in, but he keeps getting in.
Fix my thing, because I rather.
I gave you.
You didn't give up Marty's alias here, Marion. Is he not working anymore? Don't need the alias.
Well, brother,
where does he get this crap? Where does he get this ignorant crap? He said Texas was paying people to have babies.
Now he said Elon Musk was.
Elon Musk was paying.
Yeah.
Texas people to have babies. He said Texas was paying people to have babies. What is confusing is the dang birthright citizenship, where they opened up places come birth your illegal children and you make them citizens. That's what he's confusing. And then it's amazing that South Africans who's being murdered by blacks are uneducated people, and we're allowing them into the country. But he has no problem with completely uneducated people coming from the South. That is totally stupid. He's got to not be working anymore. You let him call in under Marion. I think he had Marty when he was supposed to be at work, not calling in.
Well, that's his business. That's his business. Who cares? Who cares?
But you done outed him. I think they call it doxing now. You done doxed Marty and the Marion.
I got you, bro. I got you, bro. If you stop worrying about people's personal lives, you'd be a lot more entertaining. If this country was represented, what does Camila say here now? Oh, wait a minute. Okay, guys, his honor is waiting for us. Okay, I'm gonna be hard on him. I'm gonna be tough on him. I'm gonna be tough. I'm gonna find out what the name of his dog is. Okay, so let me get the mayor on, because he got a suit on today, so he don't look like he's gonna be playing around. So let's just put him up here and see what he's doing. Good morning, Mr. Mayor.
Good morning. How you doing?
I'm doing fine, sir. And we might as well get started right off the bat here. People want to know $375 million. Now, I got to tell you, if I'm on the city council, I'm probably not going to vote for this one right now. But tell me why it's important to go in more debt.
Well, one, we're going to pay off some of our outstanding debt. So that's number one. We're going to reduce our debt capacity. So that's number one. We're going to refinance these bonds. But two, I don't expect any Republican.
Well, I'm not a Republican though. Now I'm not a Republican.
Okay, I'm just saying. I know what's been said on your show.
Right.
I don't want us to get selective memory now about all of a sudden we are talking about deficits here. Let's not miss me with that.
Okay.
So let's start there.
Okay.
The second thing is let's understand that we're in the best financial position the city has been in. We can't find, period. We think ever, but I'll say 30 years. All right. I'll say that. But we're in great financial position. So the point is, as a community, we have to do the things that make us a viable city. And I think that if you had been on the council for the last 3 years, you would have been asking questions knowing you. So you might be up to speed on the emails, the presentations, and all the things that have been said. Now, if people aren't coming to meet with me for, one-on-one meetings, or when they decide to reach out, it's about other things, that's on them. My thought is that if you have objections or you have questions, then you would have voiced that before it was on the agenda. We've been talking about this probably in earnest, probably in the last year, pretty heavily. So we started talking about
when you say we, who are you talking about?
Well, one has been in my state of the city, so it's been public information for 3 years. Okay. Two, I've been bringing it to the council for the last 3 years. Three, we bought the advertiser building for $5.5 million with the intent to expand the convention center to that site, which was analyzed. And then we talked about, obviously, what the cost of that convention center expansion would be and what other things the council told us they wanted to see. So, it's all right. It'll be worked out. But, everything that was a part of that is a part of the letter of intent, by the way, it wasn't a contract, has been, discussed ad nauseum with the council. And they've had opportunity with myself, the Director of Economic Development, Frank Robinson, the Chamber of Commerce. So, there has been this is by no means a surprise. Now, let me say this. Mm-hmm. We have big dreams, but we have little faith. And that has, really been a part of Montgomery's ethos for decades. It's not racial. It's not political. It's just been a part of our culture. We just operate with a small town mentality. I was told this by Mayor Bright when they wanted to bring the biscuits here. They wanted to do downtown. Mm-hmm. I was told by other council members who were on the council at that time, the challenges. So this is not, a major surprise to me that, when it's time to make the leap and into the deep end, we get cold feet.
So you're telling me, I just want to make sure I get this right, that there are some members of the city council who portrayed that this was news to them. And in fact, a lot of them already knew that this was coming.
Yeah. Well, we've been talking about it for 3 years. We had an executive session on it in the last couple of months. So, I don't know that I said a month ago on the very first agenda of July is going to be there. But we knew this was coming, and we knew that this was coming to the bond market. Now, so that part's been there.
Okay, go ahead. You on the air with the mayor?
Hey, I don't know whether he can hear me or not, but good morning, Mayor. I just wanted to know if you thought it was a good idea or a bad idea to let the people vote on some type of referendum or something on a ballot to let people vote whether they thought this was a good idea or a bad idea to spend the money. And how can we believe those council people that say they didn't know about this? They're the same council individuals that said they had no clue that the council person was living out of their district. So how are we supposed to believe our elected leaders? And that's all, Mayor. Thanks for coming on.
Yes, sir. Thanks for the question. So two things. I don't know where everybody. I know the ad. I don't think I know most people's addresses. But if you ask me right now to rattle off all 9, I probably couldn't rattle off all 9 addresses for the council members, right? So I don't know that it's my responsibility nor theirs to keep up if somebody gets a blessing and decides to buy a new house or decides to expand on that. I don't think we keep up with those kind of things. I don't anyway. So I don't have any issue with them not knowing. Even if somebody moves, our district lines have changed, traditionally over time. And what used to be District 7 is now District 3. And what used to be 3 is now, some other district. So, those things kind of happen. And usually people start to pay attention to that when it's time to redraw the lines. Every 10 years or so. So I don't hold it because of that. I'll say that where the council is concerned, they may not have known prior to the agenda that it would be on this agenda, but we were very clear that we had to move on this bond issue because of the timing that we wanted to do the bond and because of what they said they wanted to get done in the city. So did they know maybe it was going to be January 1st or July? The first meeting in July, before the agenda, maybe not. Did they know it was going to be this summer? Absolutely. So those things have been talked about for some time. But Kevin, let me ask you a question. Since you're a candidate for office, and since you're a candidate, I don't know if I'll be able to come on with you till you get through your run here. It may be a short run knowing you. But why would you not be for investing in the city's future and the city's long-term prosperity with something like this? I'm just curious.
I would if it was economically viable. Okay. In other words, how much debt? What is our debt payment every year now?
I don't know. I have to get that from my.
I heard it's about $26 million. Okay.
I don't know if that's accurate.
Okay.
No, let's assume it is.
Okay. Well, you say it's less than 20?
No, let's assume it is.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with your number.
So what that means then is that if we go get another $375 million, then our payments will double.
No.
Okay.
No.
Explain that
We're
to me.
refinancing some of that. No. That's off. We're refinancing, and actually we're gonna be paying off some of that old debt. So that's inaccurate.
Okay. So the money you're buying includes money it includes money to pay off some of the debt, but isn't that debt incorporated into the new loan?
Well, some of the money, no, the money's not incorporated into that. No. So this will go towards what we have to do, Kevin, as a city, to remain competitive for these doctors we want to stay at Jackson and Baptist Hospital, for those nurses with young families who want things to do when they get off work, for young professionals, teachers, educators, accountants, engineers, and everybody else, military folks that we want to be here, who tell me all the time, and told me for the last 6 years, hey, Mayor, it's a decent town, by the way, listen to that terminology. But, it's nothing to do. Well, okay, what do? We go to Birmingham, we go to Tuscaloosa for the concerts, the games. We go to Auburn for the concerts, the games. We go to Atlanta. We go to Nashville. That's money that we're losing. I mean, that's money right here locally that we're losing because people don't have leisure activities, and we don't have enough activities to bring in conferences, athletic and sporting events, entertainment opportunities, country music, Christian music, hip hop, R&B, whatever, because we don't have the venues that a city our size in 2026 is expected to have. You look at Savannah, Georgia, you look at Greenville, South Carolina, you look at our peer cities, we're woefully behind when it comes to this kind of stuff. And you aren't going to keep young people who pick the city before they choose a job when you don't have nice things for them to do, whether that's trails, whether that's parks, whether that's nice neighborhoods, whether that's nice venues or restaurants and things downtown. You're not going to be able to do this with a 1980s mentality and a mindset like that.
I would agree. For the folks who call in, give me about 5 more minutes with the mayor, and then we'll take some of your calls. But I'm just trying to figure out, if we take this $375 million, we take the 370, we get that. How much do we owe now as a city?
I don't know. I got it written down. My phone.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm just trying to figure, because there's got to be either an equalization or at least less. We have to owe less after all this than we owe it now. Because if we don't, then then it doesn't really help us, do it.
But Kevin, let me go back. Let me get off the number what we owe. Again, I'm gonna say this. We had the best credit rating the city has had in well over 30 years.
You do.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the city has never had the credit rating it's had in 30 years. All right. Again, I won't say ever. The president might say ever, but I'm not the president, so I'll just give you what I know is factual. All right. We are in the best financial position we've been in that amount of time. So if you're not going to move and invest now, then when are you going to move and invest? And how do you expect to grow as a city, and I would say a region of Central Alabama? You can't do that, which is why cities across this state have done larger bond deals, and we see what the results have been for them. And so for us, we have to think about things obviously from the fiscal standpoint. It hasn't stopped us from merit raises for the last 4 years. It hasn't stopped us from signing bonuses or recruitment incentives for police officers. It hasn't stopped us from doing anything. So we're able to do those things, increase benefits, increase salaries, and overall compensation, and take care of those retired employees and put back into the city. Okay. So I mean, if you look at this administration, what we've done the last 6 years, I think you've seen very sound fiscal management. And I know that the number here sounds big to Montgomery folks, but there are cities in Alabama right now that are talking about $1 billion bond deal. Billion.
So they don't ever want to get. They don't ever want to get out of debt.
Well, listen. Here's what they don't want to get. They don't want to get left behind. All right. And so we play the game that we play. Again, I started out talking about deficits. Nobody talks about deficits on the right or the left anymore because it don't matter. Nobody keeps up with that. Everybody's saying that, hey, as a nation, we have to keep up technology with China. We have to keep up with our other opposition countries. I'm about to say enemies, but we have to keep up with them, right? Nobody talks about the deficit but the old school folks from the 80s and 90s. And guess what? Those folks aren't getting elected anymore. Okay. So as a city, we have to make sure that certainly you can balance the budget, which we do. Certainly you can present a fortified financial plan, which we have. But you have to invest in the future, in tomorrow, and you don't do that by waiting until next week. You do by investing now.
That's really. Let me answer. Sanitation department a couple of weeks ago had the police all down there and all that stuff. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I think it's a good thing when sanitation workers don't feel safe next to some sanitation workers.
We ought to work about who we hiring then.
What's that?
We ought to worry about who we hiring then.
Well, listen, we are constantly doing that, but you got to be, you got to be able to police those that you hire as well. They don't police themselves. So, listen, that's a small group, that was down there. I applaud those folks for telling us kind of what's going on, and they won't listen. These guys take pride in the work and keeping this city clean. That's why I've been glad to push for raises for them in the last several budget cycles. I think we'll actually get it through this time around. This will be the second time in about 5 years that they would have gotten a significant raise. They are professionals. They are on the front lines.
They do a great job. Yeah, great job.
It's pretty clean. So listen, when somebody says, hey, I don't feel safe, or, because these things are going on, you guys need to check it out, then I'm negligent if we don't follow up with what we hear from people that are obviously doing the work day to day.
Absolutely.
And that's in any department. Parks and recreation. Right. It could be any department.
Let me ask you another question. We keep hearing, I looked at a city council meeting one day. They were complaining about the sanitation and not the sanitation trucks. Don't the city hire mechanics? We can't fix our own trucks?
Man, mechanics are hard to find, brother. Let me just say, and that's not just me, that you talk to the automotive dealers here in Montgomery, in the state, you talk to other mayors and league municipalities. getting some young men and some young women back into the trades would be good. We used to have what we call vocational lab, we used to call a lab here. You know, when I was in high school, we need that because we're paying a lot of money to bring people in from outside Montgomery to help us and to outsource some of it. So we don't have enough, and we can't keep them because the good ones we have get paid more by the private businesses that need them as well. So
then take their pay up.
Oh, listen, no one here will tell you I have a problem with taking pay up. I've probably done it at a faster clip than any mayor, you know.
I think you have. Yeah.
So we do that, but Kevin, even with that, we can't do it at the level that, you know, I'm about to say, you know, the Lexus dealership can, or the, you know, Hyundai dealership can. We can't do it, and they're bringing in people, you know, from outside the city as well. And they're putting them up in, you know, hotel rooms for 3 days, and then they go back to Birmingham, they go back to Chattanooga and Nashville, where they do it, you know, for some other dealership. Okay. So we need more skilled tradesmen.
Okay, let me ask you one more. Let me ask you one more question before we go to some calls, because some people are biting at the chumps to get to you this morning. Ultimately, when we borrow money, when Montgomery, with Tumpka, whoever, ultimately, who pays that money back?
Well, listen, mix. You know, for those, you know, sometimes it's your visitors. You know, if you get your hotel receipts, if you go out of town to Gulf Shores, the Orange Beach, you look at your receipt. If you go eat some fried fish down there on the beach, you look at that receipt and you'll see different taxes and fees. So some of it's visitors, some of it is taxpayers. You know, the goal for us is to make sure that, you know, out of this investment, you focus on the debt, that there is revenue that will offset some of this. And when you have a $75 to $100 million projection on additional revenue for an expanded convention center and multi-purpose arena, that's significant. That will increase our budget. That will increase our opportunity to reinvest throughout the city, not just downtown, into infrastructure, into public safety, and into public works. So those things are important. So some are visitors, some are current residents, obviously sales taxes.
But ultimately, the citizens pay back the.
Well, I don't know if that's fair. I mean, citizens pay when you increase, you know, your property taxes, because most people own property in the city in which they live. But sales taxes are, you know, that's generated by people who live in Wetumpka, generated by people who live in Pike Road, people who are working in the city, buying some food, buying gas, buying some other spares and things along those lines. So it's a combination.
Okay, one more thing. Is the new flag in place now?
It's well, you see right behind me. I still got the old flag. So if it is, I haven't gotten a.
I thought it was. I like it. I love it. It really is
good. High school student designed it. Nonpartisan, non-political. I thought it was great design. I think it's a fresh start, and I commend Councilman Mitchell for leading that effort, and the rest of the council for supporting it.
Okay, so have we accepted it? Is it going to be the new city flag?
Yes. Oh, it's been accepted. It was accepted a couple of months ago.
Oh, okay. Now, if you want to call the mayor right now, you can. If you call him, we don't need long soliloquies because the man's a busy man. Ask the question you want to ask the man, then drop off the phone, let him answer for you. Okay. 521-2963 is the number here if you want to give us a call. Here's somebody right now. You on air with the mayor?
Mr. Mayor, you said you were going to borrow the money to pay off debt. How much debt are you going to pay off? And what is the interest on the debt that you're paying off and the interest on the money that you're about to get? And the other thing you brought up, deficit. Isn't it by law that the city cannot run a deficit?
Yeah, which is why we present a balanced budget for every year I've been here. So that's how we've gotten into this position. So I don't have my finance numbers with me. I'm more than happy to supply them to Kevin and get them back out there to you guys. But again, I think from our standpoint, the city has to invest in itself. The city has to grow, and the city has to keep up with other cities. No different than companies have to keep up with other companies. Law firms have to keep up with other law firms. Hospitals have to keep up with other hospitals. You do that by investing in yourself. We want to save Jackson Hospital, which I'm surprised we haven't talked about. That's going to take probably a bond issue. They got about $150 million, $175 million of capital improvements. You're not going to pay that all pay as you go. So, you know, you're going to have to ask the question, do you want to keep the hospital open? And do you want it to be sustainable for best-in-class healthcare? If you do, that's going to take you borrowing some money. Same thing with the city. Same thing with the state. Same thing with the Tennessee Valley Authority. Same thing with the Port of Mobile. I could go down the list. The utilities that we use, all those things. Nothing is cash in and cash out. And very few things are. And very few that are growing are that way. So for us to grow as a city and to grow as a region, being in the best financial position we've been in 30 years, having the best credit rating this city has had in 30 years, I'm proud of that. I'm proud we can go to the market with at least a AA credit rating. That shows that we know how to manage money and manage debt as a part of that. And we know how to utilize it to invest in the future. Yeah. So, you know, I commend our CFO. I commend our city's financial advisor and everybody who's been assisting us to get to this point over the last 3 years since we started talking about how the city could reinvest in itself and its future.
Let me ask you, there's something going on in Montgomery and I guess all over the United States, but I live here, so I'm wondering, rent keeps going up in apartment complexes. I know food goes up and everything like that. Well, I can always eat a peanut butter and jelly sandwich if I get down that low, but I don't have any place else to go if I'm on Social Security. And do apartment complex ownership around here, do they have to come before the city council before they raise prices, or can they just raise the price? Because we got a problem right now where older people won't have any place to stay because they keep going up on the rent on everything. Is there? Can the city? Does anybody come to the city council, or they just raise it at their own volition?
Can anybody do? What was that last part?
Just raise rent on people who live in apartment complexes who got a license to do business in Montgomery. A lot of people they just keep going up, spiraling up.
Yeah, they can do that. Okay. I mean, landlord can do that. They don't have to come before the city council for that.
They don't. So that means we possibly can see people living outside because they can no longer afford to live where they live.
Well, I don't think that. I think we have, we have an affordable housing gap here, which is also part of this bond issue. $15 million towards affordable and attainable housing is part of that bond issue. So we want to increase home ownership in the city of Montgomery. We plan to do that both through our continuous budget in our housing division, but also through this debt issue or this bond issuance that we'll have. But, the other part of it is, people here have a relatively affordable amount of housing. Now, again, some of it may not be in East Chase now, Kevin.
Yeah, I understand, but
we also be where I live.
But we also have relative low wages. And so, therefore, these things don't necessarily complement each other. I'm just worried. Right now, apartments 5 years ago they used to cost $500-$600, now are costing $1,200. People on Social Security ain't getting that much money.
Well, I agree with you. I don't think the cost of the wages are keeping up with the cost of living. I'll be the first person to raise my hand on that. I think that's why we have the affordability issue we see, from coast to coast in this country. I don't think there's any question when you see the top 1% making what they're making versus the rest of the nation, it shows that gap continually to increase. So you won't get any argument with me on that.
Let me ask you a question. Is it possible that the city council and you can get together, and if you have a license to do business in Montgomery, Alabama, and with your apartment complex, you need to come before the city council and justify any height rates. I mean, any rate hikes.
Well, listen, you're running for city council now.
Yeah.
You're welcome to use that as part of your platform.
Yeah.
And to see how many people are interested in supporting it. That's why we have the legislative body. That's why we have the council to discuss those ideas.
Okay.
And if the council votes to move in that direction, then
that's why I'm going to win, because I'm trying to look out for the people.
All right.
Anyway, the
mayor. There are a lot of people in that race, Kevin.
Yeah, we sure do. Don't we? I think half the cities in that race.
Remind me of the mayor's race.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, so the housing thing that you mentioned in the 1819 article, in the newspaper article, what exactly does that? Is the city going to have its own Section 8 voucher?
No, what the city will have is the opportunity to help incentivize developers to bring more attainable housing to our city. One of the things that we have seen in the housing studies over the last 2 or 3 years that we've done, say over the last 3 years, I think we did that in 23, man, time flies, is that we have a gap of new attainable housing relative to our surrounding communities, which is why many first-time home buyers have not chosen Montgomery because we don't have new attainable housing stock. Now, if you look in East Montgomery and the parts of South Montgomery, you're starting to see some development go there. We anticipate that we'll be bringing on a couple of thousand of units here over the next several years. But we want to do more. One, that increases our population, it increases our tax base, and it makes our city more attractive for young families and those that are starting their professional careers by buying a new home. So it'll help with gap financing. It'll help also with incentives. And a portion of that, will be able to help, on some down payment initiatives that we believe are very, very important for young families to have right here in our city so they have that opportunity you're just talking about.
Are you still on board for the possibility, at least the conversation of a city school system?
Oh, yeah. I don't, it's not a priority, for me at this point. I think that we always, I just met with Dr. Bird this week. Mm-hmm. We're always looking at ways to improve our educational outcomes. And so, those things remain on the table. It's not a priority. It's not an issue that, we're pushing at the moment. But I think we have to make sure that our educational system stays competitive, if not ahead, over a consistent basis for what we need. And I think that means good leadership. That means good governance. Right. And that means good investment.
It is my understanding, though, even if the city does have a city system, it still comes under the auspices of the state as well as the Federal Board of Education. So,
do we have a national? Do we still have a Department of Education at the federal level? Wasn't that abolished?
Well, that I don't care about, but I care about the one here because we do have a state, which means that you can't run the school system any way you want to. Even if we got one, we still got to go by the same rules that everybody else does. Would that be right?
Oh, well, listen. Yeah. I think there's some things. Again, school systems vary because of who's on the board and who's the superintendent. So, what's that superintendent's vision? What's the board's vision? Are they aligned and are they able to implement it? So, yeah, you got a certain standard of rules that you have to abide by. But I think for us, we want to make sure, that everyone who voted in 2020 for their property tax increase is getting their bang for their buck. And when people question it to me as the mayor of this city, who traditionally don't support tax increases, much less property tax increases, then we have to keep those options on the table. I think the superintendent had a very good meeting with the Chamber of Commerce maybe a month or two ago that I was told went very well. I think those type of things help. I think those type of things help inform all of us as elected officials, but also the business community of some of the successes that have been happening, but also some of the goals and objectives that, he has out there. So I think if we can stay on the right track, then fine. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. But we have to make sure we aren't scared of doing things new, right? Because they're new.
And last but not least, of course, a lot of people have been observing what they think is a neglect of the poor child that got killed. And we got the guy. Thank you and the police department for getting him. But it doesn't seem to be an urgency in some of our communities. And I know for you it is, for me it is. But how do we change the culture of the violence? And not only it ain't just Montgomery, so let's not even think of it. It's all over the place and a lot of urban meccas in America. How do we change this culture of getting a gun and shooting people? I know that we have a constitution in Alabama, and there's certain things that the government allows these fools to walk around with guns and rifles. I for the life of me, people are turning it over in their grave who came up with that constitution, because I'm sure it didn't mean to do this. But how do you feel? How can we change the culture? Or is it gone too far and we just got to live with it? What do you think?
No, I don't think you can ever give up hope on that. I think we have to continue to work at it. I think we've got a lot of good nonprofits that fly under the radar that do this work each and every day. I think a lot of our mentoring groups, again, that fly under the radar, do this work. We see them all the time. We support a lot of them, and we can't support them enough. They do the actual work. They aren't just talking about it. They do that. I think we have to continue to make sure that we're supporting, again, our schools, our young parents, our older parents, and we're getting to people through means which government can, and that's not every way in every space, but we try to get to people to show them what their opportunities are so they don't fall into the wrong way of doing things. And I think for us, we want to be sure that from a community standpoint, we're letting people know that there are a lot of options out there to make money. There are a lot of options out there without being in the life. There are a lot of options out there to really stay on the right path. And we have to continue to invest in those programs. We're doing that in our Parks and Recreation Department. We're doing that in Office of Violence Prevention. We're doing that in Neighborhood Services. We're doing that in working with the county, the district attorney, the sheriff. So you get down the line. But ultimately, listen, Kevin, some of this is social media. Some of it is societal. Some of it is a change in approach to settling disputes and conflict resolution. And we just have to continue to work. I had a former football coach at the University of Alabama, one of the assistants called me yesterday, who wants to get on the ground here and help out. And so we're going to welcome him like we welcome anybody else in that can maybe reach young men, in particular young Black men who are disproportionately both victims and perpetrators in violence, to break this cycle, to figure out how to get out of poverty, to figure out how to get them the mental health support that they need, so they don't feel the pressure to do the type of things that land not only themselves in jail, but obviously land a 6-year-old child sleeping in her bed, dead and with a fatal wound because they're trying to settle a score with somebody in that way. We just gotta do better. We gotta expect better. We gotta demand more of parents and of young people and of people in general, just to respect life and to respect human dignity itself.
Mm-hmm. I noticed the other day that they decided all these big old parties, which is a great idea, in private homes, I guess should be limited to the number of people they can have or get a permit to do it, which is great because that's how some. The other day, I think those at the gas station over there, people got killed and shot and stuff like that because we're having these pop-up parties, I guess, if you happen to have a swimming pool in your house. And I thank y'all for doing that. It just amazes me that we just can't seem to get a hold on this crime.
Hey, Kevin, let me change that notion a little bit. I know you've been clicking on the Fox News Blue Cities crime link that they have. Okay. But let me remind you that crime is down across the country. And it's down right here in our city. Violent crime is down for the 3rd straight year. So crime has been going down prior to 2026, and homicides and robberies, part 1 and part 2 crimes have been declining for the last 3 years in our city. So I want to, disavow this notion that the city is, sitting somewhere in the Middle East or in some other part of the country, some other part of the world. Right. Crime has been reduced by a lot of people helping and putting in, again, the work to get to young people, to get to even adults that have some challenges and to settle these disputes. Pastors been very, very active. Again, a lot of retired leaders here in this community, very active. And just people who care about their neighborhoods and care about their communities. So I want to make sure that we aren't just kind of lumping this into one broad brush because of these unfortunate incidents, and we're assuming because of that these numbers are up when the numbers have told us for the last 3 years they're trending in the right direction. And while we have more work to do, it's good to see the work of so many in the community make a difference.
Mm-hmm. And that's good. And violent crime hopefully is down, but when I walk home and my TV's going, it's still a crime.
Oh, listen. Listen. Crime is up 100% if it happens to you.
Right.
So look, I agree with that. I don't care if it's your wallet. I don't care if it's your car. I don't care if it's your TV. Yeah, if it happens to you, crime is up 100%. That part is understood. Reduction doesn't mean elimination. So, we got to keep those things in mind. But we do have a lot of people around Montgomery who've been doing tremendous work. And I would say, as someone who sits on a lot of boards with national mayors and police chiefs and public safety officials and community leaders around the country have been doing some great work. And I'm glad to see these reductions from Birmingham, Huntsville, Mobile, Atlanta, some of our smaller cities, Baltimore. I mean, you look around and you see some real good things happening. We've got work to do. I do think, and I've heard from some legislators that there may be some openness to tweak some of the things that have been passed in recent years after this November election. So hopefully they're still willing to talk and come to the table with mayors and police chiefs and sheriffs and district attorneys to get some of those long rifles off the street and get some of those, AR-15s out of grocery stores and other places where they shouldn't be.
Okay, let's talk about our police issue at the moment. A few months ago, you said that you had all kinds of applications for the police department. Are they not turning out to be good candidates, or have we hired any more?
Oh yeah.
And what is? I know you don't want to give us the exact number, because I now people get on my case for not going at you harder for this, but I understand that. You don't never tell the enemy where you weak at. But do we have at least 200? Do we have at least 200 or more?
Of course we do.
Okay. That's all I need to know.
We got significantly more than that. We're not at 400, which is where we'd like to be. Mm-hmm. But Chief believes that we'll be there. Maybe not by this time next year. I would say by fall of next year. We're on pace for that. So I feel very good that third, fourth quarter, this time next year we'll be there, because the recruiting has been going very well, and because the response from the community. Again, I thank the community for really pushing careers in law enforcement. It's an honorable profession. Cousin of mine just texted, was a 30-year NYPD cop. His kids, both of them, are now NYPD. And he went to Alabama State, great guy. And so, from family members to friends, high school teammates and of mine that are classmates, that are sheriff's department, in the city of Montgomery Police Department. It's great, to see all of us getting a little bit more gray hair now, but to see guys, you grew up with in this space. And I think that's what we've been able to convey to young people around this community over the last year. And so we'll have our largest graduating class coming up here tomorrow, but that will be soon topped by our fall graduating class. So to answer your question, the numbers are improving each class, and I believe the quality is as well.
Okay. Well, that's good. Any other news that I didn't bring up that you want to get to us?
Yeah, and then look, maybe it was my fault, so I may have to come back. But we got to talk about healthcare. They're pulling me now to get in this meeting.
Right.
But we got to talk about Jackson Hospital. There's been a lot of conversation around that, and that's going to be a financial decision too. I want the community to know that that's going to take a fiscal commitment from this community about healthcare.
But haven't we given them one already?
What's that?
Didn't we just give them $22 million?
Oh, well, we pledged $22 million from the city itself, and that's not our responsibility, but we did as good partners.
Right.
But to move forward, it's going to take more than that. I told you what the capital outlay, what the necessary capital improvements are. That's at least $150 million, at least. So we're going to have a real honest conversation about that. And if your campaign, that doesn't go too far, then maybe I can come back on. I don't want anybody saying I'm being prejudicial by coming on to your show while you're running for office here. Now you've decided to get into the lane of those who are seeking elected public service. But we got to talk about healthcare. We got to talk about healthcare and the cost of it and how we got here. And then we'll certainly talk some more about investing in our community, in this bond issue. And I'll make sure I get my CFO get those stats back to you so you can share those with your listeners.
Okay.
As well.
I just had one more question. Oh, one more question. Then we're done. The Meta thing, the power thing out there in Hopo, where it's going to be. Will we be on the hook for any payment for the power that they use?
I don't know. I guess in short, we feel very good and have felt very good about the projections of how they plan to use power, both from Alabama Power Company as well as from Meta. That's not to say that, you know, we may not see some uptick in our utility bills. We'll monitor that. Obviously, the PSC was restructured. The Public Service Commission was restructured for, in part, I think, to address the rise in utility costs. But I feel that Meta has been a great partner so far and will continue to be a great partner, and that they have the technology to make sure that whatever impact we do have is minimal, and I believe more than makes up for its share in what they bring to the table, both in terms of revenue, professionals, and overall financial. And I believe you, but to a guy who's on Social Security getting $700 a month, to have his light bill go up even $10 will be a burden on them. So I just want to make sure that and we do have pay our penance for that. Then we need to know that they don't need to go out. I mean, I'm all for technology, but we can only pay so much of what these young folks, what these people are making. Anyway, Mr. Mayor, thank you. I agree. Oh, and my CFO just told me we got $225 million in total debt, and our bonding capacity is much higher than what we're going for. So again, that shows you in terms of our debt ratio, we're in again strong position to move forward. But I'll get to those stats so you have for the audience.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thanks for coming by. Come by any time. We'd love to talk to you.
All right, Jackson Hospital next time, and healthcare overall.
I told people I was going to be hard on you today, but you slipped away from me. So we'll get you next time.
All right, thanks, Dale.
Right. Appreciate it.
Take care, everybody.
Just you can log on out of there, and we'll be gone. There you go. I got to take a break. We'll come back right after these commercial messages. Okay, not commercial messages, just messages. All right, we'll be right back. All righty then. Now, those are the kinds of questions I will ask while I'm on the council also. This ain't just talk show stuff. This is, these are things that bother me. But I got to tell you, I'm really thinking about if I was there, an ordinance where you can't go up on rent on these poor people's apartment until you come before the city council and justify it. If you got a business license to do business in the city of Montgomery, and you just don't get to call New York and say, our New York people are not paying their bill, so we need to get some of that Alabama money. You got people making $700 a month, getting $700 a month. And again, one of my first things is to make sure if we can get it passed, if I can convince. Now we got some people down on city council right now who probably won't go for that. But if the people get involved in it, then there are a lot of things we can do. But the people got to get involved. They got to, because you may not be on social security. You may not be. You may not be on Social Security. You may getting $4,000 a month, and then when you get out of office in the state of Alabama, your retirement check may be paying you pretty good money. But there's some people who only living on $700 a month, and out of that $700 a month, they got to pay groceries. They got to buy some groceries, pay rent, and hopefully they get a Section 8 voucher. Hopefully, yes, Don.
Let's discuss the mayor. Notice he couldn't tell us how much money he was going to pay down debt, and he didn't know what the interest rate was on the old debt and the new debt. Maybe Willie Durham, I'm not very smart. Willie Durham, please call in and tell me how borrowing money to pay off debt increases your debt limit. You got any idea about that, Councilman?
Yeah, I don't. That would get again. But I tell you, in the finance market, brother, they do a lot of willing and dealing, making them.
I'm just telling you, interest rates are not lower today than they were back when we borrowed that bond money.
Well, you're probably right.
And if he,
you're probably right. Everything's going.
But he can't tell you. See, it's all a lie. He's a liar.
Well, I don't
he
know.
said he was going to pay down debt.
Well, let me tell you, why would he have to lie?
He said he was going to pay down debt, right?
I know, but why would he have to lie?
But he couldn't tell you how much debt he was going to pay down.
I hear what you're saying, but give me the reason why the man would have to lie to us.
Because he wants us $375 million to build the Reed Rap Center.
Okay.
You think it's anything other than the Reed Rap Center?
Yeah, I believe I do. I think.
Willie, please tell us how paying down debt, borrowing money, paying down debt gives you more.
Okay, well, I'm sure Willie will write it on the thing for you, and y'all can go from there. I did Rap Center. Always understand what is that? Always understand Tulsa softballs. I do understand. My job when I talk to the mayor is not to be argumentative, not to be anti this and anti that, but at least try to make sense of what he's saying and put it in terminologies that I and other citizens who don't have degrees from Vanderbilt can understand what's going on. Okay, I'm not there to be the antithetical to everything that he says. Okay. There's something I don't agree with, but for the most part, I think the guy's doing a pretty decent job running the city. For the most part, I'm never going to agree with anybody 100%, and nobody's going to agree with me. Okay, no more taxes for the residents. Listen, I'm with you, and that's why I asked about this Meta Center, because Meta. They use a lot of power. And if I've got to be on the hook, if we got to be on the hook, which Microsoft is one of the Meta, Thunderbird, whatever his name was, Funderburg, whatever his name is, who runs Zuckerberg, they got plenty of money. I'm trying to figure why we would even have to be on the hook for paying any part of the power bill of a company makes billions of dollars. I don't quite get it, but we'll see. Okay, we need a better response. What data centers, electricity, and water? I'm with you. I want to know. Yeah, I really want to know about that power center out there. If it's going to hit my pocket, hell, I'm already paying enough. Yes.
Hey, Kevin, I want to correct something.
Yeah.
Kathy James' name was not taken out of the curriculum at West Point. They did. But they got such backlash, they went on and put it back in. So they're studying him at West Point.
I'm trying to figure why would they even consider taking it out?
DEI. But I'm going to tell you what they did do over at the Pentagon, where all the photos are of past heroic generals.
Right.
They took it down. They got backlash behind that. And what they did, they put it back up in the Tuskegee corridor of the Pentagon. So he's not there with the main generals, just other American generals. They took him from there. They were going to leave it down. They had such backlash. They went on and put it up in the corridor.
Right. Was he the only general taken down, or were there more?
He was the only black general of significance that was taken down, which he was the only black general on that wall in the Pentagon in the main corridor. But what they did, when they took it down, they got backlash.
Mm-hmm.
And what they put it back up. The Tuskegee Airmen, they have a corridor, sectioned off for them. So they took it, instead of replacing it, they took it and put it along with the other black officers and, those who served, the Tuskegee Airmen.
Right.
So what they did, and they associated with DEI. You know, they had a general, the most recent black general, which was the Joint Chief of Staff. And everything, just up without any reason, they just went on and got rid of them. They
but you don't believe that some of this is not with Chappie James, but with the current. You realize that if you're a black general, chances of you agreeing with the commander in chief on policy issues is going to be slim to almost none because of the political differences. And what a lot of generals have. Wait, hold a second. What a lot of generals like that idiot, the captain, the colonel, he got his politics mixed up with his bearing as a military man. And just because you win stars don't mean the rules and the UCMJ don't apply to you.
And I'm right there with you, being an ex-military guy myself. But Kevin, you know, you had this one general from Alabama, from Troy. He was, he was an admiral on, one of those ships that were blowing up fishing boats. He said he wasn't going to do it. He and Hegseth got into an argument that he went on and resigned his post and left. Because they would have left him out to dry if this thing showed up in Congress long after they leave office, because they're going to come after these folks. And they would have left him out there to dry, and it would have messed up his entire career, his impeccable career, a 4-star general. They would have messed him up. So he said, heck no, I'm not signing off on this. I'm gone. See you. Because they know it's not.
And that's what you do. But you still, as long as you wear that uniform, you got to do certain things that we don't want to do.
Right. So Kevin, but it was one thing stand within the Constitution. When Hegseth said we're going to rendered no quarter, now you're talking about what do you call this international law? What's this thing?
Geneva Convention.
Geneva Convention. Now you're talking about violating that. So it was like, no way, I'm not going to mess up my career for this. So it's not all about just not wanting to serve under Trump. Trump wanted those guys to do some illegal stuff, and they knew that. These guys been in the military over 40 years. When you become a general, Kevin, you're looking at anywhere between 35 and 40 years of your career that you're gonna compromise, on a humbug, because now you got to prove your loyalty to him rather than to the Constitution, and that's what he wants. And so that was the issue. So this general was a local from Troy, Alabama. So I just wanted to put that out there. But when I make a mistake, I'm going to let you know, and I want to correct
right. And again, we know what we know, but what we don't know is what we don't know. So Kevin, I don't know if what you're saying is true or not. I'm thinking.
Kevin, I'm going to tell you what this country do know. And they know from almost 8 years of this presidency, really going back to 2011, he has a problem with telling the truth.
All of them have
embellished a lot of stuff,
and all of them do. Every president has been in there lied to us.
And I understand presidents through omission. Yes, they won't tell you everything, but this guy will come out and blatantly lie.
Okay,
so people have a hard time trusting.
And I hear what you're saying, but what's the difference of you lying to me because you didn't tell me, or tell me that you lied to me? What's the difference? Same lie.
Kevin, what I am saying is they know that you can't trust this guy. They know that he lies. Every chance he gets, he lies. You can't trust him. And that's the issue. So when he tells you something, you have to really take it with a grain of salt.
Again,
I understand politicians are politicians, Kevin, but this guy is right there by himself. If you notice, Kevin, not one single Republican president has endorsed him in the last 2 terms that he served.
He's not part of the bourgeois of the Republican Party. I know that. You know that. Hell, I don't know what party he belongs to tell you the truth.
No, he's perceived as when you're talking about a guy that talked about suspending the Constitution. You remember when he said that? And actually, and people said, "Oh, surely he didn't mean that." This guy is going against the Constitution every chance he gets. Who does that, Kevin?
Well, name something he did to win against the Constitution.
I will. When you want to go and federalize the voting process, Kevin, it's states' rights. States have a right to govern their own election. This guy wants to go and gather all the data for various states.
And Marty, the problem with that is that in 2020 they changed all the rules at the last minute. Multiple states did, even violated their own laws. They violated their own law.
You had 62 appointed Republican judges that disagree with you and Trump.
Listen, Republican judges are not beyond politics.
Kevin, no, but they're
Anyway,
not beyond Constitution.
I got to go because it's 9:00. But I have we can have that conversation another time. I won't convince you. You won't convince me. So we just gonna let that go. That's old news anyway. But I am concerned about this meta center out there in Montgomery that's going to be taking a whole lot of power. And I'm going to check with the PSC. I don't want to be on the hook for them making money. I just don't want to do that. The light bill already too damn high as it is. Anyway, I got to go because it's been one of those kinds of days. And do not forget, vote Kevin Elkins on District 3 City Council space on September the 1st. Let me grab one more call before I go because I got to get that message out there. Yes, sir, Simply Dave.
If you could listen between his lines, you know higher taxes are on the way.
Well, he did insinuate that we had to pay our fair share. And I guess I understand that. I understand that, but here's the problem. How are we going to get all the things we want? There's some things we have to pay taxes to improve. Meta is not one of them.
If you ask young couples with children or people in the military, the first three things they're going to mention, it is not going to be entertainment downtown. It's going to be
education, schools,
and public safety and shopping, and it's not entertainment venue downtown. That's his thing. But anyway, and then he said that the crime is going to continue, violent crime is going to continue to go down. It's been going down for the last 30 years. Well, if it's going down, why do you want to fool with the laws? Why do you want to change the laws if crime is going down? So it must be having the reverse effect that everybody said it was going to have.
Well, I think he said violent crimes are going down. Like I told him, if I come in the house and my TV gone, as far as I'm concerned, that's a crime. So
I guarantee you, if they broke into his house,
well, we know about it.
we know about it. His crime would be 110%. I promise you, and the whole world would know about it, and there'd be a detail out there.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, appreciate it, man. I gotta go. I gotta take this one comment. This guy just got one comment. He said, "What did he say? Kevin will uphold." What did he say? I'm willing to do. He sound like a MAGA upholding Trump and everything. No. I'm just not going. We act like, we're beginning to act like this guy is the only one that has taken liberties as president of the United States. I remember when Obama said, as long as I got a pen and a pencil, I can do what I want to do. That's what he said. Okay, and they've all have said and done dumb things. That's why, just like Montgomery, the city council is the body of power. Okay, that's the body of power. Let me tell you something. If I could make you bring me breakfast every day, I'd make you bring me breakfast every day. Unfortunately, I can't because I don't have that kind of power. Well, that's where the House of Representatives and the U.S. Senate come in to rein in the president. Because nothing happens without their approval. So listen, one man getting drunk with power it's not an unheard of thing. I just got done saying this morning, I don't like the way we do this immigration thing and ICE. I hate it. I hate the way they do their job. I just really do. But I can't do nothing about it. Unless I want to go out and get arrested. I just don't like good people working hard every day, and the ones that ain't working hard every day, let's get them out of here. But for the most part, most of the people just working hard like you and I. I don't like seeing them dragging drug off their jobs and then put in the back of a van and sent to God knows where. I hate that. I hate it I hate it up to my nostrils. I don't like it, but I got no power. That's going to come from Brent, Tuberville, or whoever. If he goes to the governorship, whoever the next senator from Alabama is, that's them. The House of Representatives, So I can't do nothing about it. And if I go out there and try to do something about it, hell, they may shoot me. I'm done. No, if I'm going to go to jail, let me go to jail for myself, not for somebody else. Anyway, got to go. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Well, I won't see you tomorrow because I don't work on Fridays. But hey, I'm going, guys. We are done. We are gone. And we'll be back on Monday. Unless something really, really, really breaks, I'll be here tomorrow. But we will play this show again tomorrow, so everybody will be able to. For those who didn't get an opportunity to see, hear what the mayor had to say, this will be a repeat for tomorrow when I'm out sleeping or whatever I'm doing. Okay. Actually, I got to go fix the computer tomorrow out of town. See, my reputation is so great, they're calling me from out of town now. What can I tell you? Anyway, have a great day, everybody, and remember. Yesterday is gone. Today is here. And tomorrow, well, we don't know about tomorrow, do we? The only thing we have control over is what happened yesterday, because that means you're still alive, and what happens today. So do something about it. Okay? And remember, you don't get strength from falling down. You can certainly get strength getting up each and every time you do. So the word of the day is keep getting up. If you fall, that's fine. Just keep getting up. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, I keep telling y'all this every day. Y'all don't remember this, okay? I'm just saying. The mountains in our lives there to make us strong. Don't curse the mountain, climb it. See you later. Have a great day. For every breath I take, for the love that heals, and the joy you make in the tapestry of life. I see your grace. Every moment filled with your warm embrace. Through valleys deep and mountains high, your faith a beacon in the sky. Every trial with lessons wrapped tight in